All right, now brother Bobby Seale. Again, that was, I believe, 1970. Again, this is this is 2020, and we're still trying to do the same thing. The reason I played Bobby Seale is this: a lot of people are misinformed about the Black Panthers. We have this mischaracterization of the Panthers, that they're a terrorist organization, that they are a violent organization, and that they're looking to tear down the government. Again, when you don't do your own research, when you don't find out the truth, you're apt to believe anything. You heard it from the brother himself. Out of the 10 points, the 10-point program, the final point was peace. We just want peace. We want to be left alone. We want to be able to live in peace just like everyone else. Not to be brutalized by the police, and not to be taken advantage of and disregarded. So again, the clip that I just played, the Bobby Seale, is on our website as well. You can go to realtalkrealpower.org, realtalkrealpower.org is our website. You can see all the speeches and videos that we play on the show. You can find them there. Before we came on, I was going to speak about, what if by whatever miracle or act of God, Joe Biden wins, snap your fingers, and he's sworn in on January 30th. What would that mean? We got to get Trump out, we got to get Biden. We got to get Biden. And this is why I played that 10-point program. Because in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of us being shot down in the streets, our now president-elect is calling for more police. He's calling for more funding for police. And what I'm saying is it mirrors what happened. At the end of Bobby Seale's speech, he was talking about how they increased the police force in Watts and some of the other neighborhoods after all of these things were going down after the riots in '68. Now, here we are in 2020. Got rioting in the streets. We got civil unrest, and we have a president calling allegedly for peace while calling for more police and more police funding. I want to know, I don't necessarily want to put you on the spot. I'm just talking because this is what I do. This is what I do. You got people that are hungry. I don't hear anything coming from the president-elect or his running mate to say that they're going to do something specific. There are no specific plans to do anything to give black folks relief and poor folks relief. I know you worked on the election, as did I. I told you what my position is. I really don't give a crap about the election. Yeah. But I voted. Right. But I work the polls. Mm-hmm. Because voting is a tool. Mm-hmm. It's a tool. Yeah. And people need to understand that voting is the beginning of that tool. Mm-hmm. That's not the end. You don't just send somebody to Washington or to a county seat or to a mayoral seat and let them go. Once you elect them, that's when the work starts. The work goes on between the elections. It goes on between the elections. So once you vote for someone, that's when you're supposed to hold them to the fire. That's when you're trying to get change through the electorate, if that's what you believe. Right. So again, like I said, my position on the election is, I'm tired of voting for the lesser of the two evils, or what we perceive as the lesser of two evils. A lot of people didn't vote for Biden. They voted against Trump because they only had the two choices, unless they voted for the Green Party or the Libertarians, which don't get a fair shake. Again, if we are in a true democracy it wouldn't take $500 million to win a seat. But that's another topic, you know. So I know that your organization is nonpartisan, and I know I'll put you on the spot, and I'm gonna put you on the spot again.
It's okay.
Because it's not just you. Don't get me wrong. There were, I believe, 10 amendments, right? I think there were 10 or 12.
Yeah.
10 amendments on the ballot here in Alabama. Neither the Democratic Party nor the Republican Party educated people as to what those amendments were. And those are going to affect them quicker than the presidency will, because they're about local things. I'm calling for you, along with any other group that's out here, any other civic or grassroots organization, in your political education of people, to make sure that we keep up with these amendments and the laws that are going on locally, and educate these women and these young ladies about what's going on, and let them have enough information to make an intelligent choice. Because like I said, voting just for the sake of voting is stupid. Make your vote count.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, the power starts locally, and the things that happen locally are going to affect you quicker than the things nationally. So I'm asking you, live on the air, those of you out on radio, those of you on Facebook, if she don't get it, I'm gonna go get her. She right up the street from me. I just want her to commit, and her organization to commit to political education. Good nonpartisan political, because the Democrats have an agenda and they only will educate on the things that are important to them. Republicans the same way, libertarians, and on and on. And we need our people to be educated so that we can make what choices are best for us. Since you said you're working for us, this is what we do here. So again, you heard Natasha and all those ladies that don't call her and join the group. If she's not doing political education, y'all come get me.
Yeah.
You know,
Call me out on it because I agree with Herschel 100%. I was watching to see what he was gonna say, but I was nervous. But I agree. My whole mantra is policy over parties. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, figure out what you're voting for. He's right on the amendments. It's like I do believe in voter education because that gives clarity and that defines things and it lets you know where you stand. So one thing that I would definitely commit to more education on the political front because that's what we need and that's kind of what's holding us back is this lack of, I feel like they make it confusing on purpose, right? They make it wordy on purpose. And I think one of my goals has been, and something that I've always wanted to do, was to literally simplify and break down information so that people can get it at a glance. You know, it's not, people don't have time to, they know that the average everyday American doesn't have time to like read through these amendments and read through these things. But if we could get a group of people together to kind of simplify and help people understand what they're voting for and why they're voting for and see it with clarity, because a lot of people don't vote with clarity either. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the honest truth. It's like people, I have made votes and had not had clarity. All right, I'm gonna call myself out, and I just didn't feel right about it. I just like, what am I voting for? Because everybody's voting over here, I should go over here and vote. That's never been my style. So I am committing to more voter education because I feel like that's the point of it all. Like it's like if you're not educated, why are we? And it is a powerful thing to be able to vote. So I agree. Hold me to it, y'all. Hold me to it.
All right. Because like I said, we didn't say 45's name in here too much because it was self-explanatory. But when someone is asking for your vote, you should know as much as you can about them. We're already overpoliced, underserviced, we're getting shot in the streets, and starved out on and on and on. And we know that Biden and Kamala built their reputations on locking up black people. Again, I'm not knocking anyone. I'm stating facts.
Yeah,
and the more information you have, the better informed vote you can have. Yeah. Trump, I don't have to expound on because he's in the seat, and you can see what he is and he isn't doing. So I don't have to expound on that because he has the power right now to do whatever he thinks he sees fit. So someone else comes asking for our vote or asking for your vote. asking for our vote. What are you going to do? What have you? Don't come to me with new promises and you haven't done anything for me up to this point. You know, we all know about the '94 crime bill. We know about Kamala's background as a prosecutor out in California. And all I'm saying is be intelligent with your vote.
Yeah.
Because some people don't vote, and people say, oh, it's a shame, you shouldn't, you gotta vote. Not voting is a vote. It's a vote of no contest, of no confidence. Because we are constantly forced into a place where we're voting against something and not for something.
Right. Right.
You're a black woman. We gonna use this. I'm gonna go off script. Here we go. we gonna no. It's not about you.
Okay,
no.
okay.
Doug Jones ran for Congress.
Yeah.
The last cycle.
Yeah.
They attributed his win to black women coming out in record numbers, voting 97% and voting for him. Black men came out at 95%. I'm just using this as a point. Now, it wasn't so much that people believed in Doug Jones, because his only claim to fame was prosecuting the guys, the bombers of the Baptist Church. Decades later, that was his claim to fame. What have you done for me lately? Right. Now, fast forward to 2020. He doesn't have such a horrible opponent, Mr. Tuberville. He lost Tuberville because white people, along with black people, didn't have anything to vote against. So they voted for who they wanted. Okay. Black people were voting against Roy Moore for the alleged molestation charge, the alleged pedophile behaviors. That's what people were voting against. They weren't voting for Doug Jones. Now that we had a candidate that wasn't as horrific as Roy Moore, Doug Jones lost. Because when he went to Washington, he didn't vote and do anything for us. So black women didn't come out for him this year. Black men didn't come out for him this year. And he lost. And he lost bad. So again, black people are not a monolithic people, and we're not a dumb people. We are underinformed sometimes, or we're misinformed. People are tired.
Yeah, I agree.
Of not having the facts. People are tired of not having something to vote for, as opposed to always voting against something. And I believe that this is the time, and this is why a lot of our young people don't see any utility in voting. Yeah. You know, we discussed that when we had the roundtable last week. Some don't even see the utility in it because they don't see anything to vote for.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so we have to call on our civic organizations, our grassroots organizations, to properly educate our people, because the Democrats are not going to do it. Neither are the Republicans. So again, we're going to call on all of our grassroots organizations to help educate our people properly and make sure that they have all the information that they can to make sure that their vote counts for something as opposed to against everything, right? Okay, now I'm going to go back on script because I was going to ask you something because you have an opinion. Over the past month or so, I've been posing a question to our audience. And the question is, what does freedom look like to you? And are we truly free?
Well, for me, freedom looks like lack of mental bondage. That's like a whole other, sometimes we feel free, but we're not free in our minds through mindsets and things like that. So I think in full autonomy, to just kind of, everybody's on the same playing field, right? Everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody is, because I feel like black people in America aren't truly free because we still have some trauma from when we came over on the ships. And we're still dealing with that trauma. So we are kind of locked up in our minds on so many levels. So I think freedom, true freedom, has to do with the mind because once you have your mind, everything else follows. You know, the mind is this thing that you really have to cultivate. So I think true freedom is being healed in your mind and being changed, whatever that is, finding out the truth for yourself, finding out the truth about everything, and just going a different way than what you've been taught to traditionally think or live or feel. If that makes sense. So.
Okay. Well, you know, we're talking about this election, and everybody goes, once Biden gets in, it's gonna be a wonderful day in ours, right? So if electoral politics and Biden do not represent freedom and can't bring freedom, what can?
Self-care, self-check, making sure that you are taking care of things within your realm and your realm of influence. The things, the everyday things that affect you. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing happened with Obama. You know what I'm saying? People were just overjoyed. Do we feel like now, you know, talking to black people, they felt like he could have did more. He was still very dapper, very classy, very a great representation, right? But there's still a lot of black people that felt like he could have did more. But I remember when he got elected, there was an interview of a woman who she was like, I'm not going to be late on my bills anymore. She was just crying, and it was like all her problems were gone. And I'm like, that's dangerous. That's really dangerous to have that kind of mindset when really it is in your power, right? I'm learning this too. I'm still learning. We're all on a journey, but it is in your power to change the things. So if it's like, be the change you want to see. You know, put the energy and the effort into your own natural surroundings. Those things that are going to physically affect you right then and there. Your family, your loved ones, your job, and things of that nature. But as far as looking at a president to give me freedom, no.
That's you know what? That's refreshing to hear.
No.
Because you sort of looks like I gave you when we were asking those questions to some of the other people in the room.
Yeah.
And we are very disillusioned when it comes to electoral politics.
Yeah. I think there's an element of hope in it. You know, I think there's this element of hope in it that people hang on to, and I don't want to discount that part of it, but I think that it's way deeper than somebody getting elected for president when it comes to your benefit, your quality of life, the very things that you are present in is deeper than that. And you have to take some responsibility for that as well, myself included.
Yeah. And that's you know, and I say that half facetiously, but every time we go on, I implore people to join or start a group.
Yeah.
If you don't have the wherewithal to start a group, join a group of like-minded people.
Right.
Whether it's an all-women's group, a co-ed group, an all-men's group, right. Again, there are groups out there. They're hiding. Again, this platform, this Real Talk with Herschel, is a community platform. Right. And we give every opportunity to any grassroots or self-help organization in our community that's doing it to advertise and recruit on our website. Real Talk with Herschel, rewind that. RealTalkRealPower.org. RealTalkRealPower.org is our website. And we encourage all groups to contact us at realtalkwithherschel@gmail.com. Okay. That's realtalkwithherschel@gmail.com. If you have a group, I don't care what state you're in, shoot it to us. Let us help you advertise, because all groups can't afford a website. All groups can't afford to put themselves out there. This is what we were afforded the opportunity to do so. So we're not trying to tell people how to run their organization. But if you're doing things to uplift our community, if you're doing things to help propel us to a place that we need to be in, then we're going to do everything within our power to facilitate what you're trying to do.
Thank you.
And that's for everybody.
Okay.
So if you ever hear Latasha say that nobody helped her, you can tell her she's a liar. No, boo-boo. You tell her that. No, they're trying to help you. Because this is what we're here for.
Right.
We get in where we can fit in.
Right.
I told you before, I would never assume to tell you how to run your organization.
Yeah.
I would I will lend whatever hand I can lend to help you. If you wanted advice, if I could give it, I would give it. If not, I might refer you to some other people. Because we know we have a great network here at Real Talk. We have a great network of black organizations and so-called black power players, whatever you want to call them. So this is why we encourage people to come to us. And I don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
I might know who has the answers for you, though.
Right.
And again, we just encourage people constantly to seek out organizations that are doing things that you want to see done. The one thing that I have learned to demand of any organization is to educate our people properly.
Right.
You know.
And I commit to that. We commit to that 100%. Because I agree. And I know that my convener and Black Women's Roundtable, they believe the same thing. So definitely.
Yes,
hold me to
I met Ms. Jackson.
Hold me to it. Hold me to it. Yeah. She ain't gonna let me slip. So hold me to it though, because that's real.
Yeah. So you know, again, you know, and that's why, you know, that's the question I posed to people, you know, about what does freedom look like? Because I don't think we really understand or know what freedom looks like. You know.
Do we even know? My question is, if it was we don't know what it looks like. Have we even tasted of it though?
Come on with it.
I mean, seriously, to even be able to identify it when it comes, there's like work to be done in the black community, and it requires us to take those first steps, you know, and utilize our resources the way we best know how. But it's like, you know, the question is, do we even know what it tastes like, what it looks like? Have we ever really felt it? Especially when our whole existence from ancestors on down was bondage on this land. You know, and what does that, and what does it plan to, you know what I'm saying? So it's so internal, and I don't think people understand that. And anytime you look for your freedom external, it's very temporary. It's very temporary. So I will say that.
Okay. And I like that answer. You know, I said it before and I'll say it again. People don't have to agree with it.
Right.
But what I say is the truth. You hear me? And only a free man, and when I say man, I mean mankind, has the right to contemplate politics. We live in a situation or in a civilization that dictates our laws, that we have no say in, that dictates what we are and who we are. We live in a place that starves us out, that undermines our very existence and criminalizes our very existence. But we'll argue over Trump and Biden. We'll argue over what religion is right. We'll argue over what lifestyle is right. We'll argue over the most menial and trivial things that only free men can contemplate. Think about that. So we don't have the right. We don't have the right to argue over petty things. What we should be doing is fighting for our liberation. And this is what these groups are supposed to be about. Getting us to understand our self-worth. Getting us to understand the unity in the black community. Because what happens is women's groups are good for women to heal, to understand, and to get their bearings about themselves. Just like men's groups are the same thing. And then there's a time that we have to all come together, stand shoulder to shoulder, and fight and do what we have to do. I've said this, and I'll say it again. I fight for you, Latasha, and I defend you, not because you are weak, because you're important to me. So the same thing. Again, it's not about sexism. It's about we have a different bond as black men and women. So whether it's you or whether it's Layla Ali or some woman that can do her thing, I will run to her defense as well. Because she's a black woman, she belongs to me. And I belong to her. And the quicker we understand that, the quicker we can get to where we need to be as a people. It's not about the men have to fight, the women don't. No, you got to fight too. We'll fight with you for.
Right.
And we do this because we're important to each other, not because we think that one is weak. You know, and we all defend our children because our children are important to us and they're our future. So we have to get out of this mindset of feeding into, because I stand up for you, I'm saying that you're weak. I'm not saying that you're weak.
Yeah.
I back you not because you can't do it by yourself, but you have the right to do whatever you do without having to worry about something happening.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be there to make sure that nothing goes down and you can do your program. The same way, if I'm doing my program or the men's groups are doing things, there are women that are around making sure that nothing gets out of hand as well.
Right.
Not because the men are weak, but because the men are important to them.
Right.
And we have to understand our importance to one another. And if we don't, there goes the power.
And that's the first step. Is I like what you said, because I was actually having conversations about just black women doing the work and feeling supported by black men. Like, it's something that is an inherent desire in us, even if we don't want to acknowledge it, right? Because the world has made us be like this, be this person and lose our soft side and our feminine side and all this stuff. It's still needed. We still want it, whether we say it or not. So we need a lot more men saying that, those type of things, that you are protected and we do have your back. So thank you for that.
Well, again, there are lots of men out here that are doing that. And again, like I said, the women we've always stood up for each other. I don't say it, and people get mad, but integration really killed us. Because there was a time when it was unwritten. You never had to tell black men to stand up for black men. You never had to tell the sisters it was time to fight. They was always ready. But a lot of us have continued with this brainwashing process and not understanding our importance to one another. And we really, really, really have to understand the importance that we play in each other's lives, because we are not separate from each other. We have to understand that we are the same.
Right.
My allegiance to you is not an option. Your allegiance to me is not an option. We can stand in solidarity with other groups outside of our community, but our interaction with each other, there is no choice. You don't have a choice. You have to support me. I have to support you. We have to fight together, because we're being killed. We're being locked up, starved out, disrespected, simply because we're black. So we have to fight on that same level. We have to come to each other's aid and defense, not as a choice. But that's a mandate from God. I mean, there's no way that we can have been born here together from all different cultures on the continent of Africa and put together and forced into a place where we all lost our language, our religion, our culture, our spirituality, on and on and on. And that's done systematically to keep us from uniting. But they unite us by abusing us because of the color of our skin. So we have to unite around the same thing and not worry about the differences. Not right now. Once we gain our freedom, our liberation, once we gain the ability to negotiate as a power and in good faith, then we can contemplate who's right and wrong about God. Who's got the right lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it doesn't matter. Straight or gay, you getting shot in the street. Democrat or Republican, you getting shot in the street. Jew, Muslim, Christian, atheist, agnostic, you getting shot in the street. Nobody's checking for what you are. All they know is that your ass is black. Excuse me, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's all we're checking for. So that has to be the same way we got to unite. I'm not telling you what to believe or how to believe, but I'm telling you the one thing that you need to believe in is your blackness. And that has to be the thing that we unite around. So, so let me ask you, what should our organizations be geared towards when it comes to holding current political politicians accountable?
What do you mean by that? Like, just kind of like...
No, that's me. Is that mic? I don't know what's up with that mic.
No, it's cool. I think it's on.
No, this is good.
Oh.
I got you. What I mean is, you helped out with the election.
Right.
Even though it's not partisan. Now that people have voted, Joe Biden is the president-elect. What y'all gonna do about it? Okay, he got elected. So now what?
Make sure he does what he's supposed to do. Put
What?
the fire up on him. Put the fire up on him, especially for the black community. Like that is our job from this point. Make sure that he is holding up to the end of the bargain as far as when it comes to black community. We are representing we are black women's roundtable, but we represent the black community too. So it's like, it's not just black women, it's everybody. And somebody needs to, our offices are in Washington, D.C. They have direct contact. Somebody needs to hold him accountable. And so I'm thinking that it's to hold him accountable. Like for it to do what he says he's going to do. Now what that looks like, I don't know.
Can I say something?
Come on, Jimmy Dalton.
Well, I really didn't want to say anything specifically because I know you have certain allotments and stuff for your program, but I'm en route to Atlanta, Georgia. Stacey Abrams, Keisha Brown, Sanford Fisher, and some of those people. You've been a personal friend of mine, and I admire your show so much. I didn't want to interrupt into your program.
No, sir.
But in the great, when you look at the big picture, what's going on, I'm live on Facebook here now. There's a part of history that is happening right now. Now, this is something that is going to be etched into the stones of history. This story isn't over. The saga continues. Love and hurt.
All right, thank you. That was Jimmy Dalton. That's the reason he was crazy enough to put me on the radio. So for all of those that wonder how the devil did I get on the radio, it's his fault. He saw something and he gave me the show, and I thank him for it. So again, I hear you, and I want to ask you like I would ask a politician. That sounds good, but where are the specifics? And again, because I asked you that because of this. In the midst of all of these things that were going on, in the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of people being shot down in the streets, in the midst of children dying, on and on and on, the so-called black power structure only asked the Democratic nominee for one thing, and that was a black female running mate. They didn't say an end to police brutality. They didn't say an end to mass incarceration. They didn't say an end to food deserts. They didn't say any of that. The power structure that there is said that we want a black female running mate. Now, okay, we got that. What does that do for the people getting killed in the streets? What does that do for the mother that can't get child care so she can get a damn job? What does that do for the mother that's out there selling her body because she can't get a job because child care is too much? And she's being criminalized for doing that instead of the people that make the laws to make it hard for her to get affordable child care. So again, I'm asking you, like I would ask any politician, anyone else, I need something more specific than we gonna do. Come on.
Okay, well, I think that, to get into specifics, I think that when they asked for a black running mate, it was about, you have to check a person's motives, first of all. Why are you asking for this? Is to show that we have power or we're in the White House again? I don't know. I don't know the motives behind them making that ask. But the things that you, like the food deserts and the things that you mentioned in the latter, that's why I got into this work. That's exactly why I got into this work, to create change. I wasn't born into politics. I'm still learning, but I knew that this is a platform to have change. And I believe that God put me here, because I shouldn't be here. I'm literally from Indiana, and I don't know how I got here some days. I'm like, what are we doing, But I want to be a person, I can speak for myself and the people that I'm around, right? We definitely want to make change from here. Now, what is putting a black running mate in the office, then I don't know. I don't even know the motives behind that. And sometimes we do that. We say, oh, it's about a look. We just need to look a certain type of way. We just need the external instead of actually doing the internal work and actually making change in these communities. So that is a thing that I don't necessarily agree with, but whenever I hold a position or whatever I do, it's going to be out of a heart of I want to help and make this better. And I think that hopefully I can attract people who can do the same and have this. There's tons of people who have the heart to just help and use whatever resources they have to educate people. So yeah, the motive, I don't know what that was about, but when you're talking about food deserts, that's what the garden is for. Helping Black people heal, healing creates a better quality of life overall. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be you having better food, fresh vegetables, just creating a better quality of life for the African American race while we're living in America. America is the thing. And being a resource to the community. So as far as the specifics, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. Like, I don't know what I would require from Joe Biden to tell me that he was for Black people. I don't know if he can show me that. I don't know if it's in him to show me or in his power to show me or if he cares to show me or show us. And that's something we got to deal with. If we don't see anything from you in the next 4 years from Joe Biden, we have to then go back to the drawing board and figure out an ask and figure out specifics. You know, and we do, and I'm sure we have specifics. I'm sure if somebody more well-versed can come and say, this is what we want, this is what we want, this is what we want. But it is so long and deep that can we really like sum it up with specifics? You know what I'm saying? When we have so much work to do, you know what I'm saying?
You have to start somewhere.
Right. Okay.
I mean, again, going back to the speech that I played about the field.
Oh yeah.
It was very concise.
Okay.
It was kind of general, but it was very concise.
Yeah.
Now, the details, you can expound and expand on them. But housing, healthcare, affordable food, you know, not being shot in the street. These are basic asks. They're not, you know, and none of these things in this cycle have been addressed. It's all about, you know, Joe Biden's character coming from the president and coming from Joe Biden. He kind of tap dance around certain things.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you, and I know that you don't speak for everyone.
Right.
You can only speak for you and your group and what your mission is going to be. But the things that you say are going to either attract or detract people. And that's why I'm asking you, because people that don't necessarily reach out to you, they want to know before they do. So, you know, like I said, they're not hard questions. I think they're fair questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, another thing I always ask people that have these organizations or Black groups is, should our Black organizations be geared towards building Black power, or should they be for everyone?
I think they should be geared towards the nice thing to say.
I'm going
to say how it is, okay? Here's the thing. If a white person comes to one of our functions and is like, I want to know more about political issues, we're not going to turn them away. But it is geared towards us.
Right.
It is for us, like, because we need it.
Okay. No, that's why I'm asking.
Right.
You know, again, this is why at the top of the show,
yeah.
I always say what we're about. The reason this show exists is to help uplift a downtrodden community, an over-policed community, an underserviced community. Now, this can be replicated in other communities.
Yeah.
But this is for Black folks.
Right.
It's about Black folks. It's about love and love of each other.
Yeah.
First, not exclusively. But I can't love somebody outside of this house, and I hate your guts.
Yeah. That's right.
I gotta learn to love you first and help you first before I can go out into the world and do for anybody.
Yeah.
And that's you know.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. But then we have to learn how to love ourselves before I know that sounds so cliche when they like, oh, you gotta learn to love yourself, but that's real. If you don't see value in yourself, you're definitely not gonna see value in the next person. So it's literally, I always just want to go back to that, like, hey, let's work through our issues and fix ourselves instead of like, you know, it's just myself, me. It's like, if I'm mad at you, it's like, okay, what is it? And it could be very well your fault and I should be mad at you, but I still have to figure it out. And I'm going through those processes now. But it's like, we don't even love ourselves enough. I've worked on my self-esteem for years, so I know, women, men, and it's because it's been beaten to us for so long. So we have so many things we have to break, And if we just focus on that and within our community, I think we'll be much better off. But I hear you, and that is the truth. We need that.
So what resources do you think we should be looking towards to help build this strength and this power base?
Money's gonna always be a help, right? I'm not a money person, like, you know, I'm more like, but money is a reality, right, for the Black community. And I'm even learning how to manage money, you know what I'm saying? How to deal with money, not our mindsets towards money, being fearful of money or not having enough, all of these things, but money is a huge aspect. And what are you gonna do once you get the money? If somebody gave you $100,000 or somebody in the Baptist bottom $100,000 to start a business, what would they do with it? And then it goes back to your mindset. So it's all about education and things of that nature. But money is a huge money, better food, you know, better jobs, consistency in that area. But you know, health, like various options when it comes to your health, therapy, mental health care. You know, all of these things we could use in the Black community. So.
All right. Again, you're tuned in to Real Controversial, WKCG 99.1 on your FM dial. We're going to listen to Brother Kwame Ture. I got him queued up here, an interview from Brother Ture, and we'll take a little break.